one of the things that I think is important for districts here, and I think this might be an interesting time to bring that up, is what you can do with that list now. So actions that you can sort of bulk affect a certain list with, right? Like you can sort of perform things. Like I know a big one for districts often is relocation, the
Yeah.
ability to relocate or transfer devices from one place to another. So I want to take this set of Chromebooks and I want to move them over and transition them or transfer them to another school. Or power wash them, or re-enable them, or disable them. Can you show us how districts can accomplish those types of things?
Yeah, absolutely. So once you've created your query, and your query could be anything. So it could be all Chromebooks in a particular location, which you want to move to another location, or a query of all Chromebooks which are past their AUE date. So you're going to put them into a retired state and disable them. But ultimately, once you've got your query, you can perform those actions on them. So let me select these Chromebooks. Maybe I want to review this list and remove one or two. I can do that if I want to. But the important part is this actions here. So I have enable disable. So I can disable the Chromebook. So this is our integration with the Google Admin Console. It will disable that Chromebook. If you want to remove it into a different OU or disable it as you would within the Google Admin Console, or enable. So again, sort of the sort of reverse of that, making that Chromebook usable again. Deprovision, which is sort of slightly different because they were actually not disabling so it can be enabling, but we're deprovisioning it, that Chromebook from the Google Admin Console, freeing up those enterprise sort of licenses at that point, and depending on what sort of licensing you have with Google. But effectively removing them from the sort of Google Admin Console.
Yeah, that next one is kind of a big one, right? The power wash. I know this is one that comes up a lot. It's kind of super cool just in terms of the ability to take a bulk set. So you can just take any set of devices, whether you're scanning them or you search for them the way you've just illustrated for us. So at the end of the year, if a group of students were given the task of bringing their Chromebooks to this particular room, between this time and this time. It can be the entire school. It can be entire grade level. It can be just the entire district, really, if you wanted it to do it that way. But you just scan each one of those devices, and then you just hit power wash, and this automatically resets those devices. The user profile just sort of wipes the user profile, updates the user profile, resets the user profile, so that those devices are essentially ready to go back into the population the very next year.
Yeah. End of year is a big one. Repairs as well. So after a Chromebook's gone through a repair state, repair process, performing a power wash on it there. That's another example we hear a lot from schools when they use that functionality. So reallocate, reassign as well. So if I wanted to move these Chromebooks from one location to another, one school to another, or assign them to another person, then I can do. So in this case, I'll move them sort of locations. So let's select a particular school. Let's just get rid of that there. So we'll say Brown Academy. So this is going to move all the Chromebooks in my query to Brown Academy, so moving the location of those. And under the covers, what this is doing is going to talk to the Google Admin Console and move them from whatever OU there was in the previous school into the Brown Academy school as well. So it's going to be shifting those from one OU to another. And we can see here that the school has changed for each of those devices.
We can also implement a mid-level here for in transit, and then when they arrive on site, we're going to talk about that a little bit later when we can sort of ask stakeholders to kind of notify and change assignments. We'll take a look at shortly. But yeah, those ones are all big ones. Certainly the disabling and the re-enabling of devices, power washing devices, that's the big one for me, just because I think it's the one that saves probably the most amount of time, and it's the one that's going to be used every year. Automatically setting that, no having to execute each device and go over and hit a set of keys to to power wash devices. VIZOR is just going to set them and automatically automate the process by which those devices are power washed. So that's good. That's important. Those are good ones. So is there anything else that you wanted to sort of highlight here, or do we move?
Scrap is another interesting one. So maybe sending an email to finance, letting them know that the asset is no longer sort of being managed in the asset management system, so they can update whatever financial systems they need to do to maybe write off that asset or whatever there. But the important part is having that automation in place, so linking together maybe the IT team and the sort of finance departments. So they're in sync in terms of the asset management and maybe triggering off a process there. Sometimes schools let students keep the devices when they graduate, so removing them from asset management, maybe sending an email to the students letting them know that it's their device now, and they're responsible for it.
I love it. So automation, kind of every step of the way, we're providing with automation, moving these devices right through their life cycle, and then affecting change in the Google Admin Console at levels as well.